Terence Crawford, Bud. T-Money, some might now even call him after his huge fight with Canelo on Netflix. Where do we begin? Having just announced his retirement last week, we've got a lot to discuss about what makes Crawford an icon and so great. Crawford was born the 28th of September in Omaha, Nebraska, and comes from humble beginnings, with working-class parents from a lower socioeconomic background. His father was often absent and away for work serving as a Navy officer. So really, he's mainly raised by his mother in his tough neighborhood. Now, whilst most mothers shelter or mollycoddle their boys, this isn't the case with Bud. His mother was harsh on him, struggling to raise three kids in an area where crime is rife. She would whip him with a belt when he was in trouble, and would even pay kids $5 to $10 to fight him and try to beat him up. She did this for a reason, to build his resilience. If you ask Crawford now, he credits his mother for giving him motivation and the drive to fight and excel. Crawford is built different. He is cut from a cloth that they don't make anymore. Aged 7, he enters the CW boxing club and becomes fascinated by the sport. It gives him determination, discipline, and keeps him away from the street life. But as you become an adult in an area where crime is high and weapons are carried as a normality, you can only run from trouble so far. In 2008, aged just 21, he is shot at after a dice game, with the bullet just grazing his head and missing his vital connections by millimeters. This wake-up call convinces him to commit his life fully to boxing, and it might just be the best thing that he ever did. Having recently turned pro that year, he was competing and winning by knockout and technical knockout in the lightweight division. But we all know for Terence that he was going to grow and become more experienced. We see him move up to junior welterweight, light middleweight, and just recently skipping middleweight altogether to become the Super Middleweight champion. Let's just break this down so you can understand how good this man is at boxing. He's had 42 fights, and 31 are by the way of knockout. When you take the coined term pound for pound and break it down, this man is everything when it comes to that. 140 pounds undisputed, 147 pounds undisputed, and 168 pounds undisputed. The ability to move up in weight and be successful and beat everyone in the division, if that doesn't define greatness in boxing, I don't know what does. By the way, he does that most recently at the age of 37, when most fighters have come to the end of their prime and are not as good as they once were. They're not as fast as they were, they're not as sharp as they were, and they're certainly not as ferocious as they once were. For whatever reason that might be, complacency, having made money, living the good life, or just Father Time catching up. Not the case here though. When I was at Canelo vs. Skull in Riyadh, minutes after Canelo wins the new Ring magazine belt, Turki Al-Sheikh, live for the whole world to see, invites Crawford into the ring. Not to congratulate Canelo, but to say on the 13th of September, these two men will meet in Las Vegas to fight on Netflix for the whole world to see for the Super Middleweight Championship of the world. You know what kind of man Crawford is when he takes this. He has no fear. He knows what Canelo is about. He's grown up on him. He's a fan. He accepts the deal to fight arguably one of the best fighters of the past 5 years and jump up not one, but 2 weight classes. People are saying this is ridiculous. Canelo is too big. He's too strong for Crawford. Even I thought that. There's too much weight. Canelo will be too powerful for him. He's fought at light heavyweight. But he proves all of his doubters wrong. Terence started camp early in February of this year to size up and bulk up to 168. When you see him at the weigh-in, he is completely shredded and there isn't an ounce of fat on him. He has taken the time with Bomac and his trainers to fine-tune and prepare himself for this weight at this level of contest. He leaves nothing behind in the gym. Canelo, who is 3 years younger and naturally fights at that weight, being crowned the first undisputed champion at Super Middleweight, seems to be the superior. But that means nothing to Bud. He uses his ring IQ, his excellent footwork, his speed to counter an attack, ultimately leaving Canelo looking tired and frustrated that he couldn't land cleanly on Bud. He has the biggest upset, and Crawford has the biggest win. His resume is long and loud, beating household names like Porter, Khan, Brook, Spence Jr., just to name a few. He has solidified and cemented himself as one of the greats in boxing, a truly gifted and technical fighter who uses his unorthodox movement, his chess master level ability to decipher opponents' attacks, and then masterfully switching to southpaw, using surgical accuracy, timing, and precision, making him, in the words of Max Kellerman, the GOAT of this era.